Welcome back to another Formula 1 2019 mid-season driver review. This is our first of two videos today, lucky you, so keep your eye out later on today for another really interesting driver. But of course, we need to talk about this driver in this particular episode. It's our second rookie I believe we have covered so far. Yesterday we did George Russell in the Williams, and today we're doing the man who finished runner-up behind George Russell last year in Formula 2, Lando Norris, driving for McLaren, as I just mentioned, his first season in Formula 1, up against teammate Carlos Sainz. I wonder how many people agree with this statement I'm going to start off with, and for me, Lando Norris has been Rookie of the Year. I'm going to put a poll up on the community feed, so if you're not subscribed, you won't be able to see that, but of course, feel free to subscribe. We're covering daily content of Formula 1 over the summer break here at the moment. But Lando Norris, for me, has been pretty awesome this season. Don't get me wrong. You look at the points. I mean, we spoke about this when we spoke about Romain Grosjean. It's very easy to look at the points and make a judgment. Carlos Sainz is currently on 58 points and sits 7th, well, comfortable 7th. It is in the standings. He's fighting Pierre Gasly at the moment for P6. Lando Norris is back in P10, but only on 24 points. Now, that's a 34-point gap, which is quite sizable. And luckily enough, I've already done Carlos Sainz and his mid-season driver review. I gave him a 9 out of 10. And whilst I think Lando Norris has been pretty brilliant this year, it's not been a 9 out of 10 performance. But he's a rookie. Carlos Sainz is going into his 5th season of Formula 1, and I think that's why I think Lando Norris has done so well. As we said with George Russell yesterday, it's difficult with George. He did so well last year in Formula 2, but it's so hard to tell how well he's doing because he's in a Williams and because his teammate's Robert Kubica. Norris, he's up against Sainz in a really tight midfield battle in a team like McLaren that for so many years has struggled to get points, struggled to get results, and has jumped in, and as of recording, is currently winning the qualifying battle, has had 4 DNFs so far this season, and yet when he's not DNF'd, he's scored points almost in every other race. I think he's had 5 point finishes, 4 DNFs. That's 3 where he's been outside the points. Best finish of 6th, which came in Bahrain and Austria. It's been a pretty awesome season. And okay, 34 points, that's still something that I'm looking at on my page here, and that's really standing out at me. But 4 DNFs compared to Sainz's 1. That's the start there. Norris has had the most DNFs of any driver bar Romain Grosjean. 2 of those DNFs from Norris were mechanical. 1 in Canada, 1 in Germany. Well, in Canada, he was up at the front in the best of the rest fight. In Germany, well, we all know what happened in Germany. Any driver could have had a sniff of a podium. So that's 2 massive races where he could have scored points. The other 2 races he DNF'd were China, and we all know what happened there, and Spain. China was that very first lap incident with Danny Kvyat. Spain, contact with Lance Stroll. But he's a rookie. You expect there to be mistakes. And the contact with Lance Stroll itself, I don't necessarily think was either driver's fault. It was a racing incident. And those things happen. That being said, I can list some more races now where things just haven't gone Norris's way. We just said about China. Brilliant qualifying from Norris. Lap 1, race over, pretty much. But then you look at Hungary. Last time out, comfortably ahead of Sainz all weekend long. Every single session out-qualified him. Struggled off the start, and that's been his big issue all season long. Has done really good in quali, but Sainz with that little bit more experience has been much better at the start, and more often than not, has got in front of Lando on the first lap. That being said, Hungary, doing another awesome job was Lando Norris. Pit stop mistake from the team costs him big haul of points. Silverstone. I mean, I was there in Silverstone for his first ever British Grand Prix. I mean, you'd imagine the pressure pretty high. Not only being at your first home Grand Prix, but it being Silverstone and representing McLaren. He was ahead of that midfield fight all day long. Right until about 10 laps to go, had to do an extra stop. No one else did in that midfield. Cost him points. And it's been things like that all season long for Lando that have hurt him in the championship. That's why he's in 10th, I believe, behind Kvyat, behind Raikkonen. because I think he's been unlucky. And that's a dreadful thing to say, because every driver gets unlucky at some times. It just seems that, to me anyway, and I'd love to know your thoughts, he hasn't been as good as Sainz. I've got to concede that. But he has been unlucky. And there's definitely been opportunities this season, like Hungary, like Silverstone, like Germany, like Canada, where if things had just gone slightly differently, he could be right up there fighting with Sainz and fighting with Gasly for that P6. But that's just how Formula 1 is. That's just how sport is. So I'm going to give Norris an 8 out of 10. Again, I'd love to know your thoughts. I gave Russell a 7 yesterday, so I think it's only fair to give Lando an 8. But as I mentioned, there will be up on the community page a poll, so you can vote for your rookie of the season. But Norris, for me, coming into Formula 1, I didn't think he was ready at the beginning of the season. He's proved me wrong. I think he's proved a lot of his doubters wrong, and I think he's really stepped up to the plate. Another video out later today, one of the Ferrari boys we're going to be covering, so keep your eye out for that one. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.